I set out to make a video basically proving, or thinking I was going to be proving, that short travel trail bikes were the answer to a lot of questions because they're so capable these days. Turns out the same can be argued for long travel bikes like the Giant Rain. This is the new 2024 Giant Rain Advanced 2, a 29er with 160 millimeters of travel in the rear, 170 millimeter travel fork, and this thing is absolutely amazing as a daily rider. I've barely skipped a beat on climbs, including most technical climbs. Haven't been frustrated, feeling like I'm lugging around a big beast when it comes to climbing most technical stuff. One caveat there. And then appreciating the fact that between efficiency and geometry, we now live in a magical world where whether a bike is short or long travel, there is a huge amount of crossover in what the bike is capable to do confidently, with just a little bit of difference in the kind of fun you're going to find. So, 2 thumbs up to Giant for this 2024 Giant Rain Advanced 2. If you're looking for a stunning bike that stretches your dollar and with a carbon frame, this is easily among the best of the best to stretch your dollars and have you not feeling like you paid a price in any way. Incredible componentry, ride quality, suspension bits and pieces, drivetrain works awesome, brakes are essentially the same thing as XT brakes, being this newer level of non-Dior labeled Dior quality brakes. They're 4-piston. I got a Fox 38 suspension fork on here. This is the Rhythm 38, which is essentially a performance level Float 38 with a minusculely heavier crown steer unit on it, the upper. So you really don't pay a price on this thing. All the way down to tire quality, you just, wowzers, 5,700 bucks Canadian can go so far, and I'm so glad the COVID silliness is over and bike companies can get back to speccing bikes how they want to, not as a reflection of what exists out there for availability from the big parts manufacturers. If this sounds tantalizing, but creeping over the $5,000 mark is a definite no-no for you, check out the new 2024 aluminum version, the Giant Rain 1. It is about 800 bucks cheaper than this. Actually has a couple bits on it that are upgraded from this carbon price. So basically you're switching from your dollar going into very good components on a carbon frame to very even gooder components on an aluminum frame. Both have the Maestro suspension, which is a big part of why this bike is such a great combination of planted, efficient, keeping your braking performance, traction on the climbs, descent. Giant's Maestro suspension somehow just doesn't get as much mention as it should for being amongst the absolute best out there. And I say that from the standpoint of having ridden on most of the high-end stuff out there, the different suspension designs, and saying honestly that yeah, this is as good as DW, any of the modern horse link designs, single pivot, and I move single pivot up into that category because they've gotten a bad rap for old school reasons when single pivots had some serious shortcomings, but that was due to bike engineers sort of 7-8 plus years ago just not giving pivot placement enough attention, and the bikes would either bob like crazy, jack themselves out of suspension, or have severe brake jack issues. Almost all the modern single pivots are incredibly good. But to come back to this Giant Rain, if you're thinking about a bike that needs to wear a lot of hats, you are somebody who enjoys shuttle days or chairlift days, but you're also one who takes pride in earning your turns many days, pedaling up, that is where this bike absolutely shines. I don't think you'll find yourself cussing because you had something inefficient, or because you thought you had undergunned yourself, and then as a trail bike you're just having fun. There really isn't that much to say that is a detriment on a long travel, high quality suspension bike like a Giant Rain. So that is the beast we're talking about, 2024 Giant Rain Advanced 2, 29-inch wheels, proper tire combination, Minion DHR with double down casing, Assegai front tire with Evo Plus. So that gives us most durable casing, a little bit less durable because front tires tend not to take as many hits. This shock, this was the Fox Float, and that was the one thing I thought might be the part that would be asking for upgrade, just because it doesn't have a piggyback. And so that's something that on longer descents, not having a piggyback can mean that you get basically declining performance out of your rear suspension. I haven't seen that issue here yet. Haven't written it off as a potential issue. But so far, trail riding in the desert, it's doing awesome. I mentioned these Shimano Dior level, but not marked as Dior brakes. They're called the 520s. They're still a 4-piston brake. They still have four ceramic pistons in there, and that is for dissipating heat really well. You have the opportunity on these to upgrade rotors to Ice Tech, to upgrade brake pads either between resin or metal, or to have the finned ones, which once again help to dissipate that heat. So it's doing all the things that a Shimano XT brake does, just minus having some of the adjustments up here. Freaking amazing bike. Oh, that's fun.
Now we're going some red tail.